I never thought a heart could shift from swelling with love to trembling with fury in the span of one evening. The night began as a surprise. My business trip ended 2 days earlier than expected, and I decided not to tell Claire. I wanted to sweep her away, take her back to the Ember Lounge, her favorite spot, the place where we had our very first date, and remind her why I'd asked her to be my wife. That ring on her finger wasn't just metal. It was my vow. My future. But as soon as I pushed through the heavy oak doors of the lounge, I learned that promises mean nothing when they're treated like accessories. The room was low lit, the golden glow from the shelves bouncing off neat rows of bottles. Music pulsed faintly under the steady hum of voices. Then I saw her. Claire. And she wasn't alone. A man sat beside her, closer than a friend would dare. His hand hovered on the back of her chair, their heads bent together as they laughed over twin cocktails. She twirled her hair, flashing him the smile that once belonged only to me, the smile from those wild early days when everything between us felt new. I stopped halfway across the room, half hidden by a pillar, breath caught tight in my chest. I wanted to believe I was mistaken. Maybe he was just someone she knew. Maybe. Then she leaned closer, brushed his hand, and whispered something that made him grin like a predator. That was enough. The taste of betrayal hit me like poison. Sharp, bitter, unforgettable. My steps carried me forward, slow and deliberate, as if my body no longer answered to me. Claire, I said, voice steady though everything inside me shook. Her eyes went wide, a flash of panic before she pasted on an awkward smile. James, you're back early. The man turned lazily, studying me as though I were an interruption to his evening. And you are. I raised my hand, showing where a ring should have been. Her fiancé. The color drained from her face. James, please, it's not what it looks like. A hollow laugh slipped out, one that didn't sound like mine. It never is. The man shifted uneasily. Look, I didn't know she was. Don't. I cut him off without glancing at him. My eyes stayed locked on hers. This isn't about you. My fingers found the cool metal in my pocket, the same ring I'd once placed on her hand with trembling fingers and a heart full of hope. I pulled it out, let the light catch on its surface, then set it down between them. Give that back to whoever you really love, I said quietly. Then I turned and walked away. Outside, the air was cold, sharp against my skin, but it felt cleaner than the suffocating haze inside. My phone buzzed again and again. Calls, texts, her name lighting up the screen. James, wait. Please. Let me explain. It's not what you think. Come home. Please. But I didn't go home. Not that night. I drove aimlessly until I ended up at the old pier, the black water rolling against the wooden posts. My hands clamped around the steering wheel until my knuckles ached. Memories bled through. Our first date at that same bar, her laugh echoing in my ears, the night we laid out our future under a star-filled sky, the way she whispered she couldn't wait to spend forever with me when I proposed. Had it all been a lie? Or had I simply never been enough? The next morning, I finally went back. She was waiting on the couch, hair tangled, eyes swollen from crying. James, she said, rushing to me, voice breaking. I made a mistake. It wasn't serious. It just happened. We were drinking. He's a coworker. I lifted a hand, cutting her off. Stop. Her eyes brimmed with tears. Please, let me explain. It didn't mean anything. You've been so busy, so distant lately. I wanted to feel wanted. Her excuse struck harder than any physical blow. So this is on me now? I've been working myself raw for us, for our future. And your answer is, what? A trial run at cheating over cocktails. My voice cracked under the weight of it. It wasn't like that, she whispered. It was exactly like that. Days bled into a week. She didn't stop trying. Flowers at my desk, endless texts, long confessions where she promised therapy, swore her love hadn't changed. But love without respect is nothing more than poison that seeps slowly until it destroys you. I started digging, not because I wanted to, but because anger and self-preservation left me no choice. What I found hollowed me out more than the scene at the lounge. Months of messages. Jokes that shut me out. Late-night work drinks. A hotel bill dated 2 weeks earlier, when I was in Chicago. Every discovery was another thread snapping loose, unraveling what I thought had been our life together. When I finally confronted her, it wasn't loud. It was cold. "Claire," I said one evening in the same kitchen where we once argued over wedding menus. "I know. Not just the bar. Everything." Her face crumpled. "James, please. No. Don't please me. You had options. Not once. Not twice. Over and over. And every single time, you didn't choose me." She broke, covering her face with her hands, sobbing. I was scared. I thought maybe we were too perfect, that I'd lose myself. I just wanted to feel alive. I stared at her. "You wanted to feel alive? You've killed everything." 2 days later, I packed up and left. The ring, a cold, silent witness to what we destroyed, was already at the jeweler's for resale. Friends whispered about me. Some said I was heartless. Some urged forgiveness, said people make mistakes. Others insisted I should have exposed her, humiliated her the way she humiliated me. But I didn't want revenge. What I wanted was dignity. Weeks passed. I threw myself into work, into rebuilding the version of me that didn't orbit around her approval. Nights were hardest, the silence dragging too long, the reflex to reach for a phone that no longer lit up with goodnight messages. Then one evening, I found myself back at the Ember Lounge. Alone this time, but steadier. The bartender spotted me and gave a cautious nod. And there she was, Claire. Alone at the same bar, eyes locked on the entrance like she'd been waiting, hoping. No lover this time. No smile. She stood as soon as she saw me. "James. I didn't think you'd come." "I didn't come for you," I said softly. "I came to make peace with myself." We talked, not as lovers, not as enemies. Just two people staring at the shards of something fragile they'd once held and shattered. "I'm sorry," she whispered, eyes glistening in the low light. "I thought he made me feel special, but all he did was make me lose the one person who truly loved me." I let the silence hang before answering. My chest still ached, but the wound had stopped bleeding. A scar was forming. "I loved you," I said finally. "But I can't love the person you chose to become." That night I left the bar with a calm I hadn't felt in months. I wasn't taking her back. I wasn't plotting revenge. I was moving forward. Sometimes the strongest answer to betrayal isn't screaming, or breaking, or begging. It's walking away with your self-respect intact. Months later, word reached me through friends. He'd ghosted her. She was left alone, trying to patch the holes she'd torn in her own life. As for me, I started traveling again. Meeting new people. Laughing without guilt. Learning that healing isn't erasing what happened. It's refusing to let it rot your future. And the ring. I never bought another like it. Next time I propose, it won't just be with gold or diamonds. It will be with clear eyes, wide open. Because love is a decision. And so is betrayal.